Hello my darlings, I hope you're doing very well. In today's video I am doing another tattoo enthusiast, is that what I called it? Is it part of my tattoo enthusiast reaction series? Oh my god, hang on, I need to actually look at when was the last time I did one of these? Yes, okay, wow. This is number 5 and I'd forgot. But yeah, in today's video I am doing another tattoo enthusiast reacts to Am I the A-hole? For those that don't know, that haven't seen me do this before, if you haven't, I do have a playlist of it, so that'll be linked somewhere should you want to watch the rest of these. But there is this Reddit page where people submit their situations, their problems, their concerns, and ask, are they an asshole? People comment or vote to say if they're an asshole or not in their situation. Most of the time I do agree with the consensus, but sometimes I've been a bit like, I'm not too sure about this. But I always do it for tattoo related things, obviously. It's always a wild ride. I absolutely love doing this series. So make sure you get comfortable, get a nice beverage, get a nice snack, because this is always, you know, a roller coaster of a ride with these posts, because it's just wild. It's a wild west out here. The first one that I'm instantly drawn to is this one. It says, am I the arsehole for refusing to tattoo an extremely overweight woman? First impressions right here, right now, is yes. You should never refuse to tattoo someone because of their body shape or who they are. That's just big a-hole energy in my opinion, but we'll read further into it. So it says, so I'm a tattoo artist and today a very large woman come in to get a geometric jewelry-ish tattoo on her stomach underboob area. We had discussed this tattoo over messages, but she had not mentioned her weight. She shouldn't have to. That should never be a, oh, by the way, that should never be a part of the message in any way, shape or form. You should not have to disclose how big or small you are ever. And if a tattoo artist is expecting that, no, just don't. Like, the only time I feel like you should disclose something with a tattoo artist is if you want a tattoo over some scarring, because the tattoo artist needs to be aware of, you know, what they're working with in that sense of form, because it's a different type of skin to tattoo. Continues saying, now weight normally isn't a huge concern, but this woman was huge. That's just rude. Her entire torso was just a series of folds, especially around her ribs and the middle of her stomach where the tattoo would be placed. Not only that, but under her various folds, they had definitely not been cleaned in a while. The smell was something else. Okay. I always say that obviously there are many reasons as to why someone might have bodily smells. I always say that if you can, try and be as clean as you most possibly can for a tattoo session. It's, first of all, it's hygienic for your tattoo. You know, if you're covered in dirt and whatever, you don't know what kind of germs are on you or whatever. I'm not saying have a bath in bleach or whatever, but do you know what I mean? Like, you're dealing with open wounds here, so you have to be careful. And also with the smell, there's different reasons as to why someone might have body odor. People have brought up, you know, mental health and what have you, because, you know, when you're suffering with mental health issues, sometimes, you know, you don't want to do much of anything, and sometimes people have an aversion to having a bath or shower. Don't be rude about that, okay? Never be rude about that situation. I don't want people arguing in the comments saying, well, I mean, it only takes 2 minutes to have a shower. When you're in the worst mental place, a shower feels like the most hardest task in the world. So that's another reason why sometimes people don't shower. There is a condition as well where you literally cannot help it, no matter how many times a day you shower, spray perfume, whatever. Your body emits a certain smell. I think some people have said it's like a rotten fish smell or just like a very rotting smell. There is a name for that. It's an actual condition. So there's that as well. Anyway, so the undertones of like the fat shaming here, I don't agree with, but it's more of a, if this tattoo artist was to tattoo this person, no matter the size, okay, no matter what size this person would be, if you are clearly visibly dirty, it's kind of like the safety thing at this point. Do you know what I'm saying? Like with infections and stuff. Anyway, let's carry on reading. I had already drawn up the tattoo, but upon looking at her torso, I decided it simply wouldn't be possible. The tattoo would either have to go into a dirty, smelly fold. There is no need to be like this. Like, you don't need to word it this way, in my opinion, or skip over those areas, which means if she lost weight, that there would be huge gaps in the tattoo. So I simply told her that I could not do the tattoo. She asked why, and I tried to explain to her as kindly as possible. I kind of doubt that because you seem like a bit of an a-hole with the way you word things. As kindly as possible, that because of her folds on her stomach, that would not be able to do a nice tattoo in that style, but that we could go for a different placement or do something more organic for that area. This is where she completely snapped at me, screaming into my face that I was fat phobic and I just didn't want to do it because I found her gross, and that a anorexic skinny hoe like me just didn't get her. The thing is, people don't just snap for no reason. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, well, I mean, some people do, but the majority of people don't just be like, fuck you, you fucking arsehole. Like, you've said something in a mean way. Again, there's two sides to every story, of course. I care a lot about making my clients feel comfy, but obviously I don't want to do shit tattoos. But the way you've been wording things, I don't believe it. Like, if you were a kind, caring person, you would have written this post a lot better. I care a lot about making my clients feel comfy, but obviously I don't want to do shit tattoos. I obviously triggered something in her and I feel really bad about it. I asked some of the more experienced artists what they do and they agreed I made the right call. Now this is where I think I might be the arsehole. Her whole tantrum made me really not want to work with her, so when she finally said that she'd do another design on her stomach, I refused. I told her that her behaviour made me uncomfortable and in my temperamental state that she should, by the way, go wash her folds before coming into a tattoo studio where cleanliness is a top priority. So am I the arsehole? Yes. I'm just going to say yes, because no matter how much someone is pushing you for whatever reason in this environment, I know we're all human, but you don't say stuff like that. It's very rude and unprofessional in my opinion, and I would never go to a tattoo artist like this. There's a good way about going around things like this and a bad way, and I feel like they've gone around it the bad way. There's an edit. It says, I want to make clear that this woman wasn't just a regular sweaty, or SMTH. I don't know what that stands for. I'm sure someone will tell me. It was rancid. I wouldn't doubt that you could find an infection within the fold, and her comment on my body hit me really hard since I am a recovering anorexic. Okay, well obviously we'll understand that, but I don't know, it kind of does scream fat phobic to me, and just like the way bigger people are treated is awful, terrible. You know, people that aren't part of the beauty standards. This is coming from someone that was very skinny at one point and dealt with like zero hate towards my body because I was literally a size 4, like a UK 4, so I think that's a US 0. And now that I'm on not the completely other side, I'm a UK size like 16 to 18, depending on what clothes I'm wearing, to be honest. So I'm more on the like curvy side now, and yeah, there's a huge difference. There really is. So I feel like there could have been a better way to go about this. You know, just all it takes is for someone to sit down and be like, hey, you know, like in a nice, kind, caring way. And obviously it's going to be a hard conversation to have because no one wants to bring up someone's weight or what have you. Like if an artist come up to me and said, hey, this tattoo isn't going to work with your body, I'm kind of concerned about, you know, what's going on here. Like, first, just ask if they're okay. You know, like sometimes when someone's in that kind of predicament, you know, with like body odor or just having an issue, there might be something wrong. You know, just ask if they're okay. It costs nothing. And, you know, just go about it a calm way. And if the person that you're talking to gets offended, they have every right to be offended, honestly. I don't know. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions on this. Please keep it polite and nice though. Like, we don't want no fat shaming, skinny shaming, anything like that in this comment section, because in my opinion, all bodies are valid and everyone deserves to have a tattoo. And yeah, I don't know. Okay, so this one's like new and it hasn't been like voted whether they're the arsehole or not yet. So that's kind of fun. It says, am I the arsehole for getting matching tattoos with my best friend after his girlfriend told me it made her uncomfortable? I need more context on this. I really do. It says, I'm really conflicted on this one. I didn't think it mattered at all, but she will not stop crying about it. I mean, this literally, and it makes me feel really bad. Edit number 2. I saw a comment that says, I'm in denial about my feelings. No words. That sort of mentality is the problem. We're basically siblings. Girls and guys can be just friends. It is possible. Edit for random context. Devon does not want to remove the tattoo either, nor does he want me to remove it. We have never been together romantically at any point in our friendship. We've both had issues with our mental health, and we've been the only ones to help each other through it over family, other friends and partners. The light concept is because we brought light into the other's world when it felt completely hopeless. I feel like this up here is like way ahead of what we've meant to read, but whatever. Bianca said that because I was a girl, the tattoo meant something else and she wouldn't have cared if I were a guy. Reiterating that when we say I love you, it's completely platonic, but we've been through a lot together. How could we not love each other? I have other friends who say it to also, maybe not as much, but it's not an exclusive thing. He's the same with his other friends. Also, it has a meaning for us, especially me. I went through a period where I constantly felt unworthy of love and unlovable, and him being there for me and bringing me out of that mindset means a lot and will always stay with me. So here's the post or whatever. So basically, I, 19 female, have been best friends with Devon, 20 male, since we were teenagers, around 13 to 14 years old. We have been extremely close since then, and his friendship means more to me than any other relationship in my life. When we were around 16, he casually said, hey, maybe we should get matching tattoos to remind us that we're always there for each other. And I said it sounded cool, and it wasn't really mentioned again. We were minors, so it wasn't exactly plausible. Okay. But recently we passed the tattoo place and I joked, remember when we were younger and we wanted to get matching tattoos, which led to a discussion leading up to us deciding that we wanted to do it for real. We took a few days to decide on the design. My friend is a graphic designer, so she made it for us. But it's basically a light bulb shaped like a heart with the words, I'll be your light, love you always, sort of woven through the image. The light bulb thing is an inside thing between us, and we always say, love you, I love you, so it wasn't anything off-putting. Okay, I can see where this is going. Now, I'll carry on reading before I put in my opinion. And then the day before the appointment was scheduled, Devon's girlfriend, Bianca, came up to me hysterically saying that we couldn't go through with the tattoos. I'm assuming Devon must have told her. She didn't really give me a room to speak, but she talked a lot about how uncomfortable the idea made her. They've been in an extremely serious relationship for a while, and he was starting to consider a proposal. But I told her that I was still getting the tattoo as Devon had been an important part of my life for years and meant a lot to me. And the tattoo was our idea together, not just mine. Obviously, we went through with it and it felt really nice for a while until Bianca called me and started freaking out. Apparently, I'm a horrible person and the tattoo was too romantic, even though it was not. We're just extremely close friends. I'm sure she has friends she would say I love you to. It's because on one hand, I don't want to be responsible for ruining Devon's relationship, possible marriage, but on the other hand, I do not want to get rid of the tattoo. Okay, I have feelings for this. So the idea and the reasoning behind the tattoo, in my opinion, fine. Completely fine. The fact that they are, you know, best friends, in my opinion, men and women can be best friends. That's my opinion. You might have a different one. That's completely fine. You know, in this situation, say my boyfriend Tom had a good friend or a best friend that was a woman. They got matching tattoos. Would not care at all. You do you, your body, your friendship. I'm not getting in the way with that, right? Friendships are forever, in my opinion, for the most part anyway. From experience, I've had 2 serious relationships, but my best friend Yasmin has been with me and by my side through those, and now I'm in another relationship as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's been around longer than any relationship, so I always respect friendships because, you know, I have a friendship that means a lot to me, so I get it. The only thing that makes me kind of side with this person's girlfriend is the whole love you, I love you. It does seem a little bit, even though we've got context and we know it's not, you know, a romantic thing, that kind of makes me feel a bit like, ooh, a little bit. I don't know why, but I can understand why the girlfriend's a little bit, you know, annoyed about this because, you know, the words I love you are huge and very strong, and most people do keep them. Well, that's the thing is, I do say I love you to Yasmin. This is interesting. Yeah, I can understand why the girlfriend's a little bit like, you know, everyone has boundaries, you know, everyone has limits, and that's between a relationship. Who am I or anyone else to say that that isn't wrong? You know, Bianca obviously sees this is a bad thing. Like I was saying, everyone has boundaries. You know, like I was saying, if Tom has a best friend that's a girl or whatever, fine. But if they were extremely flirty, and then Tom could easily say to me, oh, that's just the way we are, that's fine. But my boundary is like, no, like that to me just makes me feel a bit like I'm uncomfortable with this. So them getting a tattoo that says I love you is just crossing Bianca's boundary or whatever. So I respect that, but I think maybe it's just a case of communication needs to be had more. And the thing is, we've seen so many films, right? I think this is going off on one. I've seen so many like rom-com films where, a guy has a girlfriend, they're about to get married or whatever, and then his best friend is like, ooh, yeah, I'm so happy for you. But they end up falling in love and getting married. Like, I can imagine that's maybe in the back of Bianca's mind somewhere. Even, like, no matter how many times you stress nothing's going on, sometimes stuff ends up going on. I don't know. I'm indifferent about this. Like, I can understand both points of view, to be honest. Because, again, I say I love you to Yasmin doesn't mean I want to be in a relationship with her. Do you know what I'm saying? But then I'm not attracted to women, so... Unless it's Doja Cat. Tricky one, this. The next one I'm going to read is, am I the arsehole for voicing my concerns to my brother about getting his late wife's name tattooed? Again, I feel like I need more context. I, 35 female, have a younger brother, Zach, 33 male, and we've always been pretty close. Zach's wife passed away last year, and me and my family did our best to support him. A few days ago, he told me that he was planning to get her name tattooed on his arm. I thought it was a temporary thing or maybe henna, but he said he was going to get a permanent one. Now, Zach's never been much of a tattoo fan and doesn't have any. Yes, I know some people get significant others' names tattooed when they're together, but I thought it was strange to get your dead spouse's name. Zach is still fairly young, very handsome, and earns well. It's not the end all, and I'm sure future girlfriends wouldn't be keen on him having someone else's name tattooed. I voiced my concerns to him and said it was his choice, what he wanted to do, but maybe he should think it through. He went off swearing at me and saying, I don't understand. I really was just trying to look at the bigger picture. But am I the arsehole? Okay, I understand where this sister is coming from. She's just, pointing out a few concerns. What if you regret this later on down the line? Because it is quite a big commitment tattoo to have someone else's name on you. So I can understand where she's coming from. I won't say she's an arsehole for that. But at the end of the day, how someone deals with grief and how someone wants to honour someone that was in their life is completely up to them. And it can be kind of triggering for someone if someone's like, why are you doing this? You're going to regret this. You sure you want to do this? Like, especially when you've been through so much, sometimes the littlest things can make you like a bit upset. So yeah, how Zach wants to deal with this is up to him. With something like a name, yeah, that's a huge commitment. But should you want to cover it up later on in life or add on to it, it's very, very easy to do so with a name because they're normally not that big. I mean, maybe Zach wants to get a tattoo that's pretty big. I don't know. But for the most part, someone will just get a name that's like this big, this wide or whatever. So it's not a huge deal, But then I'm very much far removed from being not that visibly tattooed or not having, it's been years since I've not looked tattooed. So to me, if I get a tattoo, it's not a huge deal anymore. I'm just like, that's another one to the collection kind of thing. So it's a little bit different when you don't have as many. But yeah, I think if I was to come across a guy, say I was single and he had his dead wife's name tattooed on him, I don't think I would be bothered by it. Again, that's my opinion, but I honestly wouldn't be bothered by it at all because, when you are married, that's a huge part of your life. Massive. And a lot of people do get tattoos to symbolise or commemorate parts of their life, chapters in their life or whatever. To deny or be angry at someone having a past when you're, in your 30s is a bit stupid in my opinion. So, yeah, I'd say I can see where the sister's coming from. I wouldn't say she's an arsehole as such because that seems like quite a strong opinion. I think she was just doing, what any older sister would do kind of thing. I'm going to do one more because this was posted like 58 minutes ago and I'm intrigued. I want to know because, again, this hasn't been voted. So, I don't know what the consensus is with this or anything. But let's go through it together. It says, am I the asshole for not wanting my ex to get a tattoo that reminds him of me? First impression is you're not the a-hole, because that's kind of weird with no context. So with the context, we might change our mind. But if like an ex-boyfriend wanted to get a tattoo that reminded them of me, I'd be like, why? Long story short, I dated a guy for like a year. We broke up, but are hoping to sustain some type of friendship and stay in touch. The breakup really sucked for me, and I'm finally feeling like myself again after a few months. I have been in that situation. Breakups are not fun at all, so I understand that. When we were dating, he told me that he wanted to get a tattoo that's not my name or face, but is a symbol that is a play on my name. He told me a couple of days ago that he's going to get the tattoo today. I didn't tell him not to, but I kind of think it's a slap in the face because he's pretty much the reason we aren't together anymore. I still love him, but I don't want him to get the tattoo. I know that it's his body and his journey, but I think it's stupid when he could have had me instead of a tattoo, but he chose to turn away from the relationship. I really don't want anything having to do with me to be permanent on his body because it seems superficial. Am I the arsehole? In my opinion, absolutely not. That's bizarre in my opinion. Like, this person has just said their ex broke up with them. That's weird in my opinion. I feel like this person's reaching for an idea to get of a tattoo that's meaningful or whatever. I would be creeped the hell out. I'd be like, but why? Like, has this person been able to give a legitimate reason as to why? And I understand at the end of the day, like this person said, you know, at the end of the day, it is this ex's body. It's his choice. He, at the end of the day, can do whatever he wants. But it's just a bit weird. You know, I've never had a desire to do that. Have any of you had the desire to do that? It's just weird how someone can dump someone but then want a tattoo to commemorate that person. You know, like, definitely a weird one. I'd love to know your opinions on that and all of the ones that I've read. Obviously, like I was saying, keep it polite, keep it, you know, neutral, not neutral. Keep it, what's the correct word? Wow, words, what are they? Like, keep it nice. Don't be an a-hole yourself. But anyway, I just want to say thank you so much to you for being here, sticking with me, and I hope you're all feeling great. I hope you're doing well, and until my next video, bye.